Hello and welcome to the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the Hangout, Nnamdi Kanu gets bail. Conditions, pledges to meet them in 48 hours. Oshibajo panel grills SGF Babacha Lawal. And later on the program, Lagos nets 312 billion naira IGR in 2016. I'll be joined by Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Yomi Olomofe, and Benga Onitilo. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Finally, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been granted bail on health grounds. Kanu, who has been in detention since October 14, 2015, is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony. Justice Binta Murtala Yako ruled that he is expected to provide 3 sureties, and one of whom must be a serving senator and a Jewish religious leader and a highly respected person who owns a landed property in Abuja. Kanu was also ordered never to grant interviews to the press. Pending the outcome of his trial, Justice Nyako made it clear that Kanu's bail will be revoked if any of these orders are flouted. Are these conditions not too difficult to meet? Babajide, yesterday we spoke about this, and yes, this has been on for 2 years, and it's a trial. It was under trial for treason, and 2 years down the line, a particular court had earlier given bail, and for the reason best known to the federal government of Nigeria, they did not release him, and this will be the second time out. But let's talk about these bail conditions first. It's as if you're giving me something with my right hand and you're using your left hand to collect it. I don't. The first part of which we spoke yesterday about the Jewish leader standing as a shorty. That will be like a locus classicus in our judicial system. Can you explain that?
I don't think any Nigerian who has got brains and has been told to always use his senses will come up with an explanation for what justice has done. In our country, I don't see how you can demand that a foreigner should come and bail somebody standing trial in our country.
Even despite the fact that it was claimed that Nnamdi Kanu, is claiming to be a Jewish.
You cannot, it's unheard of. I don't know from what legal book learned justice brought this one out. I think that she said it out of anger, because when right there in the dock, when she asked Nnamdi Kanu to tell the whole world his religion, Nnamdi Kanu said, I believe in Judaism. He said, okay, good. If you believe in Judaism, since one of the conditions that you must bring a respected religious leader, then go and bring since you must bring a respected religious leader as part of the conditions for your bill, then go and bring a Jewish leader. The point is, how does he get a Jewish leader or a prominent Jewish person in Nigeria who will also be able to meet the monetary conditions attached to the bill? Because you are saying that each of the 3 persons must,
I think, 100 million.
100 million. Bail, a surety of 100 million for each of them. She didn't say you must bring a senator. She said somebody, a very prominent person, like a senator. So you can choose whether to bring someone else or bring a senator. But the aspect of it all that shocks me is that in our country, a Nigerian could be standing trial, and you are telling the Nigerian to go and bring a foreigner to come and stand short for
about the first time I'll be hearing.
But you see, in our country, I think we we do not shock people anymore. We do not shock, because people will read this abroad, they will read it in Ghana and everywhere. They say, these Nigerians are at it again. We are always capable of coming up with all kinds of theatrics. In fact, the theatrics have become a daily fixture in Nigeria. So the judge has just joined the fray. Our politicians do it all the time. They make us laugh. But the judge has as I've always said on this program, there was no need to put Nnamdi Kanu through this whole thing, because we have only allowed him to draw attention to himself. We have only made him popular. It should have been ignored. But our government believes that force is everything. And as we have seen with what is happening in Niger Delta now, force does not always solve problems. Some people are shouting, oh, they must crush them, they must send the military. The military did not achieve anything. When Osinbajo and the rest of them began to talk and engage these people, we can see now that our oil output has gone up. So what military force couldn't do for you, Dialogue has achieved. So we should have just left that boy alone instead of just putting him on trial and then letting him draw attention and unnecessary sympathy.
Yomi, he said he must not grant interviews. He must not grant interviews. He must not hold rallies. And you want to look at that and, okay, pending the time of this trial, he must not grant press interview. That whatever any of these 12 conditions that is flouted, that bill will be revoked.
For me, Ayo, I think it would have been better to have declined outright to give him bail. Because part of those conditions, for instance, you look at one of the conditions, he cannot be seen in party of or group of persons beyond 10. It means that fellow cannot go to church. He cannot go to his Judaism fellowship.
Hold a family meeting.
He cannot sit with family members, cousins, nephews, nieces.
More than 10.
So like Julia said, we need to get serious in this country. The issues confronting us are very serious issues. But every time, all the time, we continue to trivialize. People saddled with onerous, responsible, sensitive assignments keep trivializing. It's either you say, look, young man, go back to the prison, and then we begin to look at the constitutional issues arising therefrom. Or you give conditions, bail conditions that can be met. Where does this young man, where is he going to be able to raise? For me, really, anyway, the matter of Judaism or Jewish can be academic. We can look at it. Are there Jewish Nigerians? If there are Jewish Nigerians, are there some of them that are well-to-do? If there are some of them that are well-to-do, are they Igbo?
The idea of a Jewish Nigerian.
If they are Igbo, would they be willing to stand for? So we can begin to do all of that.
Igbos are Jews. Is that what we are saying?
I think there is
the idea of a Jewish Nigerian is strange to me. Honestly, maybe you've had that before.
I've looked at it. I'm really at a loss as to how to look at matters
like
as this.
Jew,
But you see, if we must really get a bit more serious here, what Nnamdi Kanu is trying to do is a matter that we cannot sweep under the carpet. I've said it. For as long as we refuse to look at issues like that, people look. It's not enough that you were born in Nigeria and you must die in Nigeria. Where is the progress? I think it's within his fundamental rights to decide how and where he wishes to be situated.
Okay, Benga, let's look at this struggle in perspective now. In the first Biafra, if you take a censor, you discover that maybe more than half of our brothers in the southeast keyed into that campaign, and Ojukwu was quite successful in that campaign because he was able to sold the program out, and he had a lot of followers. But anytime I see these protesters, these IPOP people, and I see my friends, because I have a lot of brothers from the southeast in Lagos here, and they're my friends, and they'll tell you that no, they're not caught up with that, especially the elites and everything. How far has this campaign gone, and do you believe in that one indivisible Nigeria?
a lot of people have said Nigeria, the use of Nigeria is not an issue. I disagree. It is really negotiable. And most of the problem we are having today, like Jide opined earlier, the agitations in the Niger Delta that we're trying to use force to get things done when the vice president took over office, and it started with engagement and advocacy, and he achieved quite a lot now, which has impacted on the reserve moving as high as $31 billion. So most of the problem we have in this country,
Our foreign reserve
has moved to $31 billion. Most of the problems we have in this country is because we have an alliance. Nigeria has not evolved into a nation yet because we don't have the national value, we don't have the national objective, we don't have a national unifying factor. Because when you want to do anything in Nigeria, the flags that come up are flags of ethnicity, flags of religion, flags of political bias. So if you call an American, if you say, where are you from? He will tell you from Texas. He says, I'm American. If you tell me, where are you from? I'm from Agawe. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you first, I'm a Nigerian. Because there is no vision that unites all of us together. We don't have a unifying factor. We don't have a national philosophy. And that is why we have not been able to build an economy. Because we don't have a national value that we've been pursuing since 1960 till date. Because each person comes in with his own agenda, 7 years, 7-point agenda. Somebody comes with 5 points. So there is no national agenda. And building a nation is like building blocks.
All right. Let me quickly take this breather. When we come back, we'll discuss more. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Anga reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. I'll be right back after this time out. Please. Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout, and we are looking at the bail conditions granted Nnamdi Kanu and the struggle for by the independent people of Biafra. We call them IPOB. And Jide, before IPOB, we have the movement of the actualization for the sovereign state of Biafra. That is Maso. Now, we're talking, Chief Raz, my very good friend, we're talking about what led to this agitation. After the 1967 exercise, and so many people, I listened to the chairman of Ohaneze Ndigbo that day, and he said they don't have anybody in the Southeast in any of the top positions till now. That they are not in the army, they are not in the navy, they are not in NSCDC, they are not in the immigration. He just listed them, and he said they are still like a second-class citizen within this. Do you think it's high time the federal government will check out these agitations and infrastructural development in the Southeast and take a second look at it?
You see, if you remember clearly, we discussed this issue some time ago, and I said, look, what the president can do is to disabuse the minds of people, states where he did not really get support. Show them that you are the president of everyone.
Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Take federal presence to those places. In fact, begin to work in their areas before other places. Rather than say that, okay, I want to reward only those who voted for me. When you do that, look, people like Kanu and other noisemakers, they will not have support.
Yeah.
Because the reason Kanu's message is relevant, because people can see signs, they can see evidence of marginalization. Yes, they can see it. We can't deceive ourselves. Some of the worst roads in Nigeria in the east.
Yes,
no doubt about it. And then we stopped the second Niger bridge. I would not have stopped it for 1 day. I would not have stopped it for 1 day. Why did Nigeria have to wait for too long? I'm not saying that all the fault is with this government.
No.
Successive governments have marginalized the East. You see, you do not make the East happy by simply appointing people from the East into your administration by making them head boards and parastatals. You show the people that you care for them by taking development to them. That is how we can show people that we care. And it's the same thing that we fail to do in the Niger Delta.
And they have the capacity to lead this diversification thing that we're talking about.
Yes, because they are the most
my
enterprising.
brothers in the East.
Our people from the East are the most enterprising that you can find.
Jews.
All over the world. Anywhere you go to in the world.
Somebody told me that if you go to his community and you don't see an Igbo man, my village, you will find them. They are the ones who are selling little stuff and all that. There's nowhere that you don't find them. Now the thing is, you take development to those places. Kanu will call a rally. Nobody will go because his message will now become irrelevant. But the people who want to misadvise the president are the ones saying, "Look, we must use force. We must use force." And our president, during one of the media briefings, also spoke like someone who had made up his mind that this boy must
be detained.
And I tell people who lack a sense of history, who think that it is force that can solve every problem. Awolowo was put in prison for baseless reasons. But in the end, what did Gawan do? Gawan brought him out and even made him his vice president.
Exactly. The
vice chairman,
vice chairman of the Federal Executive Council.
And
the Minister of Finance.
Commissioner for
Finance. Managed the country during the
wartime. We didn't really lack
We didn't borrow anything.
We didn't borrow money. That was somebody that they jailed. So even this boy, this Kanu now, who is making trouble all over the place, that boy can still be useful to this country, because the truth is, his agitation is a meaningless one. He has no support. Honestly. The reason I'm saying it should be ignored, some people may not understand this. The reason I'm saying it should be ignored is he does not have support. Call your friends who are Igbos, ask them, do you want to secede from Nigeria? You will see that an overwhelming majority of them will say no, that we are going nowhere.
It is not even
practicable for the East.
60% of the real estate in Lagos, I can tell you, is owned by like the people from the southeast.
North, a lot of buildings they own, they cannot. It is impracticable from the East to leave Nigeria. I'm saying it because I'm sure. So, and a lot of them, in their heart of hearts, they don't want to leave this great country.
But they don't have a sense of belonging at the same time.
Many people feel that way. And this is a problem that we can solve. We can solve this problem. We can't use force for everything. And that's why I gave the example of the Niger Delta. We've seen where we sent soldiers there, they were humiliating our soldiers.
Honestly.
Our soldiers were drowning. It's the same people that they told to the soldiers to
go and rescue them from swamps and creeks.
So we have seen now.
They don't understand the topography.
Now those guys have stopped bombing.
Yeah.
They stopped bombing.
Where the Avengers
we are making money. We are even now boasting that we may not begin to import from maybe.
So by December we'll be out of recession.
Yeah, well, because we are making money. The foreign reserves, as you said earlier, is growing. In fact, it's on a 7-month high now. So, because we stopped threatening them. When we were threatening them, they showed us that, look, your threats amount to nothing. And we warned on this table that, look, it will not achieve anything. You can't go and be bombing those places now.
Crush them.
Crush. Kill people, beat people, use force. Must you use force in every situation? Colombia, who have been involved in civil war all these years, they are coming to the negotiation table to talk. And there's why people will sit down on Twitter and be writing absolute rubbish that we must crush, we must beat people, we must kill people.
And if you see so far, the level of force that has been deployed on peaceful demonstration in the southeast, I've seen videos. I don't know. Yes, some of them, they have tendency to go overboard at times. But I've seen dead bodies. I've seen people, killed during these protests. And do you think that will anyway? What will that do to their psyche?
It will solve problems, Mayo. You see, war or force has not been proven yet to put an end to ideology. And so, what you must do is to engage ideology with either
superior ideology
or tokoto to ideology. What I see, playing out here is that Kanu seems to wish to represent a particular ideology, but I think the methodologies he is trying to deploy may not be most effective. What we are saying is that here is the people who are complaining. Rather than destroy, maim, and annihilate them, why would we not look at what they are complaining about and address it?
Okay.
Which are issues of ideology?
I have my first caller. Charles is calling us from Ikorodu. Many thanks for joining us, Charles.
Hello, my name is Charles. I'm calling from Israel.
All right, go ahead with your contribution, Charles. You're on.
Yes, sir. This claim every day that's happening and troubles every year and there, that is the only thing that causes this problem. You understand? So many claims as they are doing treatment and they solve problems. These are the things that nobody prays to divide in Nigeria. Nobody prays, but those things happen that a lot of people are seeing that the whole thing is the country.
Thank you, Charles. I'm struggling to pick what Charles was saying. But Binga, in all this now, we've seen that, okay, eventually, do you see him meeting this bail condition? And I know that there's also a provision in law that you can actually appeal to the judge to vary this bail condition.
I think, well, the last information we have is that the lawyers and the family said they are working on meeting the bail conditions within 48 hours. But as Jide rightly said, I think it's a circus. This kind of discretional bail conditions being given by this judge is, I see it as a circus. I see it as the judiciary getting involved in the politics of the day. Yeah. And I think there are some people playing some strings behind the scene, trying to use the judiciary even against this same young man and what the agitations are all about. If you don't want him to get out of prison, I would just say just keep him there. Don't even grant him bail at all.
It's a bailable offense.
Yeah, it is. So that's what I'm saying. They are making a mockery of the institution of the judiciary once again.
Must grant bail.
Yeah.
He has not killed anyone.
He's entitled to it.
The main issue here for me is that we should concentrate more. This government, I know it's a listening government. This government should concentrate more on the agitations that fuels Kanu's advocacies.
Yes, Jide not forgetting the fact that Babatunde Raji Fashola has taken, some trips to the east, and he has spoken about this second Niger bridge, and he has spoken about the state of infrastructural development there, and with time, he has shown commitment on the part of the government that they are going to really take it up. I think this thing is on the front burner.
Beyond that, the young Fashola is just moving around and making promises. When you have the opportunity to make appointments, it shouldn't be statutory appointments alone that will remember the Igbo man.
Yes, that will capture them.
Because that's what they are saying. It shouldn't be statutory appointments alone that you will remember the Igbo man. So let the Igbo man not think that people in Nigeria, the rest of Nigeria, think he's inferior. Because our brothers from the east have been thinking like that for years. So Nigeria the war has ended. Since the war has ended, we can't continue to treat them like a conquered people.
Like suspects.
Never.
You can't continue to treat them as a conquered people.
Together.
Yes.
Okay, let me quickly take Shegun. Shegun from Abuja. Many thanks for joining us, Shegun.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, I'm Shegun from Abuja.
Yes.
Yeah, my contribution is that, you see, Nigeria, when we don't tell ourselves, I'm born and brought up in Kanu. And when you are in the north, you can't even buy a plot of land and say you want to use it for a church. You dare not. The agreement you will sign with the Ngwa that you will not erect a church on it, you will not do this, you must sign it before even the land will be sent to you. And all these are so, if we can tell ourselves the truth, I think we'll be out of this problem itself. Because now you are saying Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. There are Igbo born in Kanu. There are Yoruba born in Kanu. But it is not by force to practice religion or you practice.
Thank you, Shegun, for your contribution. Thank you, Shegun, for that contribution. And still ahead on Journalist Hangout, Oshibajo-led investigative panel grills Babache Lawal. Details after this time out. Stay with us.
Welcome to First View Luxury Hotel. At First View Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit First View Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adelino Bamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Stack. For more information or reservation, please call us on 080-7578-7135 or 080-9990-0601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.firstviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. First View Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.